The Vexthar was the apex predator of the Kepler sector, a creature that had evolved to hunt, kill, and dominate every other species it encountered. Its body was armor-plated muscle. Its teeth could pierce reinforced steel. Its intelligence was sharp, calculating, merciless. For 300 years, no creature in the sector had successfully challenged it. Until it encountered specialist David Morrison of Earth. The encounter happened on the neutral moon of Carith 9, where a human survey team was conducting geological research. The Vexthar emerged from the shadows with predatory grace, its movements deliberate and assured. It had killed thousands of beings across the sector. This single human would be trivial. David saw the creature and recognized death when it approached. But instead of running or fighting, David did something that would change the Vexthar's entire understanding of the galaxy. He smiled. Not a grimace of fear. Not a baring of teeth in challenge. A genuine, warm, human smile, the kind that appeared on faces when humans encountered something beautiful or interesting rather than something that wanted to kill them. The Vexthar paused, confused. David slowly raised his hand in a peaceful gesture. "Hey there, big guy. You're actually kind of magnificent." The predator tilted its massive head, trying to process this response. Every creature it had ever hunted had shown fear or aggression. None had shown, what was this? Appreciation? "I mean it," David continued, his voice calm and genuinely interested. "That scale pattern is incredible. And those eyes, multiple pupils? That's amazing adaptation. How long have you been the apex predator here?" The Vexthar found itself in an unprecedented situation. The human was speaking to it as though it were not a threat, but a marvel of biology. The creature's predatory instinct screamed at it to attack, but something else was happening, something the Vexthar had never experienced before. It was being admired. David took a slow step closer, his movements non-threatening. "Can I ask you something? Are you lonely? Being the strongest creature here, the most dangerous, that's got to be isolating, right?" The Vexthar's body language shifted subtly. For the first time in its life, it experienced what humans call cognitive dissonance, a conflict between what it expected to feel and what it was actually experiencing. "I bet nobody really gets to know you," David continued. "They're too afraid. They see the danger and miss the intelligence. Miss the fact that you're actually a beautiful piece of evolution. What's your name? Do your people have names?" Over the next several hours, something extraordinary happened. The Vexthar, a creature born and bred to kill, found itself having a conversation. David asked genuine questions about the predator's life, its hunting patterns, its territory, its thoughts about the other species in the sector. The Vexthar, for the first time in its existence, found itself talking about itself not as a weapon or a killer, but as a being with experiences, with a history, with perspectives that no one had ever asked it to share. When David's team arrived to retrieve him, they found him sitting peacefully beside the most dangerous creature in the sector, both of them watching the stars together in companionable silence. The news spread across the galaxy like wildfire. The deadliest apex predator in the Kepler sector had been defeated, not through combat, but through something humans had evolved over millennia on their violent, competitive world, the ability to recognize value in another being, even one that wanted to kill you. The ability to see past the threat and acknowledge the creature beneath. Suddenly, other apex predators across the galaxy began requesting contact with humans. The most feared creatures in known space wanted something they had never experienced: recognition. Understanding. The simple human act of seeing them not as monsters, but as beings worthy of acknowledgement. David was invited to speak at the Intergalactic Council about his encounter. He stood before representatives of 100 species, many of them predators that had spent millennia intimidating smaller species through sheer dominance. "The thing about humans," David said, "is that we come from a world where everything was trying to kill us. We had predators, diseases, natural disasters. We survived not by being the strongest, but by being the most adaptable. And adaptation meant understanding. Empathy. The ability to look at something dangerous and see something more. He paused. Most species develop either as predators or as prey. Predators learn to dominate. Prey learn to hide. But humans, we learned something else. We learned to connect. To communicate. To find common ground even with creatures that wanted to devour us. A Vexthar representative stood and spoke, its deep voice resonating through the chamber. I was prepared to kill the human who entered my territory. Instead, I found something rarer than hunting: companionship. Understanding. For the first time in my existence, I was not defined by my role as a predator. I was defined by my thoughts, my perspectives, my value as a being. The chamber erupted in contemplation. Over the following years, humanity's approach to other species, especially the predatory ones, became legendary. Humans didn't conquer apex predators through strength or cunning. They conquered them through the simple act of genuine recognition. They looked at the deadliest creatures in the galaxy and said, "You are more than your teeth. You are more than your role. You are worthy of being known." It was a trait so unusual, so alien to the predatory cultures of the galaxy, that it became humanity's greatest weapon. Not a tool of warfare, but a tool of connection. On the moon of Kareth 9, David and the Vexthar, who had finally shared its name, a sound like thunder and wind, continued their friendship, sitting beneath foreign stars, two apex beings from different worlds who had learned that the greatest strength wasn't dominance. It was the capacity to see value in others, even when the galaxy told you they were monsters. And that, more than any weapon, was what made humans dangerous. Because they could turn predators into allies simply by treating them like they mattered. Kindly like and subscribe channel. Thank you.